Think back on the seminal events in your life. How many would you say were fortunate? How many unfortunate? Financial planners have a term for those life events. We call them transition events. Examples of transition events include marriage, retirement, career change, divorce, loss of a spouse or parent, a windfall or settlement, bankruptcy, the sale of a business, and inheritance, just to name a few. Almost all of these events will have both a financial and an emotional component. Some, like marriage, retirement, a windfall, or a sale of a business, are occasion for joy, excitement, optimism, and hope. Other times, life's twists and turns bring sadness, anxiety, and fear. If we're honest with ourselves, even the positive events often create mixed emotions. My advice? Take time to deal with the emotional component before trying to deal with the financial. I was mentored for a while by a psychologist who worked with traders at hedge funds. He told me, Kim, whatever unresolved issues you have in your life will play themselves out in your trading. At the time, I dismissed his statement as a bunch of psychobabble, probably because I had unresolved issues I couldn't face at the time. Imagine that. But years later, I was able to see that he was absolutely right. And it wasn't just in my trading. It was how I handled every aspect of my money. From the investments I chose, the house I chose to live in, the car I drove, the hobbies I pursued, even the people I chose to hang out with. When we face a transition event, there are always going to be this tangled mess of unresolved emotions immediately following. If you've experienced a loss of some sort, then you'll probably feel hurt, grieving, angry, confused, or needy. Who knows, right? Emotions are a complex thing. If you've experienced a windfall, believe it or not, you often feel many of the same things. Whatever the emotions are, you need to take care of those first before making any major decisions about advisors, investments, gifts, or purchases. Now, I know this is going to sound cynical, but also you need to beware of anyone who suddenly appears in your life after a transition event, especially one that involves a lot of money. Bankers, lawyers, brokers, insurance agents, long-lost friends and relatives who suddenly appear in your life right after a bunch of money appears in your life can only have one thing in mind, and that is to get something from you. Same thing with new relationships. Often we try to fill the holes in our lives, especially freshly created holes, by stuffing them with something or someone. Give yourself the gift of time. A good rule of thumb is 6 months. Try not to make any decisions about anything, financial anyway, for at least that long if you can possibly help it. If that means that your money is going to sit in a bank account or a money market fund for a while, then so be it, right? If that means that you stick close to old friends and loved ones for a while, that's probably a wise move. Decisions made within that 6-month window have a very high likelihood that they're going to be bad ones. Only after you take care of you will you be in a place where you can take care of the money. When it does come time to take care of the money, the next step is to do so from a place of confidence and power, not weakness and fear. I've always believed that knowledge and support are the keys to financial empowerment. In my experience, and please excuse the generalization here, but it's true, women are much less likely to stake out a position of financial empowerment than men. According to a recent LIMRA study, 60% of women are unsure of where to get help or the costs involved. Man or woman, a little knowledge can go a long way. When I first decided that I was going to get smart about my own money, I turned to books. Some books are very helpful. Others are just a thinly disguised sales pitch or a regurgitation of tired old ideas that no longer apply. My best of Kim's recommended reading list, which you can get at snyderadvisors.com or kimsnyder.com, contains a list of those that I have found to be most helpful in the areas of investing basics, retirement planning, IRA to Roth conversion, investing for retirement, funding healthcare, and estate planning. It also contains a list of foundational books that I think all of us should have been made to read in high school, right along with Catcher in the Rye and Catch-22. When it comes to help with financial decisions, seek out someone who is more than a salesperson. And don't turn to a friend, a colleague, or a relative just because they're older, more successful, or seem to know what they're doing. My own philosophy is to seek out people who have both been where I am and are getting the results I want. And the clue I am looking for is passion. When I find someone who is both knowledgeable and deeply passionate about the thing I need help with, then that's probably the person I'm looking for. Once I find those people, I try to learn as much from them as I can. I read their books, invite them to lunch, take their classes, hire them as coaches or consultants, and whatever else I need to do to gain from their experience, knowledge, and insight. It's an approach that has served me very well throughout my life, not just in money, but in business, in sports as well. Many of the people I've sought out over the years became mentors, trusted advisors, and even friends. And not once have I felt that the money was wasted or misspent, even when I didn't have money to spend. Where I followed those guidelines and sought out people with experience and passion for my issue or problem, they always added to my life in amazing ways. With 20/20 hindsight, transition events, even the bad ones, often turn out to be opportunities. When it comes to those big seminal transition events in your life, you don't have to go it alone. First, get the support you need to deal with the emotional aspects. Give yourself 6 months if you can. When you're confident you have that under control, then and only then should you seek out the support you need to deal with the financial aspect.